Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn them notifications on. So, Happy New Year to everybody watching. Hope you all had a great Christmas and a great New Year. Current circumstances not looking brilliant here in the UK. It's the first day of the next lockdown in England. Brilliant! So, year's going fucking fantastic so far. Anyway, new video today. Thought I'd follow on from the last video where we saw us doing the straw chopping and the feeding of the cows and whatever. So again, we're in our feeding mill house. But I'm filming this before the stage I was at last time. So I'm going to show you all my morning routine jobs where feeding the cattle's concerned. So, to be honest, the head of beef cattle, which is what we will be feeding, we got a few Friesian heifers, but the bulk of what we're feeding this morning is beef stock. We are quite low on at the moment. Now, the reason for that is because we got that shed of 27 Belgian Blues. There was a few Herefords in there and a few Friesians and an Aberdeen Angus. Well, before Christmas, actually I think beginning of December, we actually decided to sell all them as stores. Now, we were happy with the price. They all averaged at about £850 a head, I think, or it might have been a little bit more than that. But they sold very well. Reason for selling them: lack of straw, lack of feed. Can't keep cattle if you've got nothing to feed them on and nothing to bed them on. And we certainly, on this year especially, not going to start going out and buying wheat, barley and straw. It's just not a viable option. It's too expensive. So we thought, sell them as stores, focus on the younger stock that we've got coming through, you know, because they're smaller, they're not going to require quite as much straw and as much feed. So at the moment, in the shed that's behind that wall there, we got some Hereford weanlings. To be honest, most stuff is at weaning age. I mean, the cattle over there at the moment, they're a little bit older. With the exception of the Friesian heifers that we've got, most of our stock is at a young age, only about 12 months old, most of them. They might be the odd one over there that's just slightly over the 12 months, but most of them are sitting at 12 months. So we might as well get into this. Feeding here, pretty simple. We got a mix, we got a blend down here, and then, excuse that bit of a mess there. We have been doing quite a bit of, over the summer, we've been doing a few repair jobs in here. That being one of them. That doorway was falling down before, but now Dad's been handy with the trowel and got that sorted. Down here, we got an Alvin Blanche mill, so we mill all our own wheat and barley. So that is what is under there at the moment. And then there's our feed barrow, blend, and so on and so forth. So I am gonna do our first mix for our first head of cattle and crack on. There's the first mix done. So this is our mix for our Herefords, which are in the shed behind. So I'll get a bucket and feed that to them first. Oh yeah, there is a couple of Belgian Blues in this shed as well. So this mix is a mix of blend mixed wheat and barley, a 1-to-1 ratio. And you'll notice as we go through, the ratios change. The concentration of blend gets less as the stock gets older. These guys here on a 1-to-1 mix at the moment. So I feed these 4 bucketfuls twice a day. So there's 1 bucketful fed. There's 2. Three. And the last one in the top trough. There's them fed. So they all are having a munch on their food. So obviously when we're feeding, as well as actually feeding these cattle, we have always got to be looking for any signs of ill health. And yeah, I'm not seeing any this morning with these lot, which is always good. Hate mornings where you come out and there's one under the weather or whatever, especially at this time of year, because common problems you get are pneumonia. Not so much we finding cattle at this age There's probably a bit old. Usually they're a little bit younger than this, where we seem to get a problem. So there's them fair. Next is over to the other side. Next up, I'm going to do a real small mix for the group of 7 Friesian heifers we've got over here. Now these are having a mix of 4 shovelfuls of wheat and barley, 1 shovelful of blend, and then they're having a pot of minerals as well. That's our pot of minerals. That's how much they have per day. So we get that mixed up and then head over there to feed the first batch in them sheds over there. Got our minerals, scatter them on the top so we kind of get a nice even mix throughout. You'll see it's not an awful lot. That's all they need a day. Give it quick mix up. Camera on the floor. So there is our mixed. So we'll head over the other side, and a noticeable difference compared to what this would have been 12 months ago. It's quite easy pushing the barrow across this first stage of yard. This is the yard we had concreted last summer. If you want to go back, we had a little bit of a chat about this in the update on the forage rate field, I believe. So, just nip round here. Here they are. You'll see we've got Rodney around here at the moment, and also that cow's here at the minute. She's just taking a bit of a break. Rodney's here. Now the only reason that Rodney the bull is around here with his heifers is just so he gets a break from being with the cows for a couple of months, and he's also on a break from being on the concrete all the time. He was starting to show a little bit of a signs of bad feet. Basically just from being on hard concrete all the time. You know, that bull, he's carrying a lot of weight. It's a lot to be pulling around on concrete all the time, so we want to get him on some soft bedding. And, you know, he's lying in cubicles as well. He's a big guy. He doesn't fit in them brilliantly. But he's come around here. He's looking well for it. He's just been here over 12 months now, Roddy. And he's a pretty nice bull. So he's like, look at them all looking at me. Come on, feed us. We're going to get the last load of corn now for the stock over here. So these are the ones I was on about before, the just off weaning age. I mean, they're sort of in that middle no man's land. Like you wouldn't really sell these at this age, because like when we sell stores, we aim, if we're selling stores, to have them at a bit higher of an age, because they sort of hit a stalemate, we find, cattle. And you could sell them at weaning age, you could sell them like 4 or 5 months later at store age, and they're still worth the same value, but you've obviously had to put a lot more money as an input into them, so they look well. So we're going to get the next barrow load and come back and finish off with these. The next batch of cattle, they have the biggest barrow load. So this is, again, it's a mix at 2 to 1. Now I just fill it in the barrow at 4 to 2 just because it's easier, mixes in a little bit better. So we've got 4 shovelfuls of our wheat and barley, 2 shovelfuls of our blend, and repeat that 3 times. There's our load on. Last but not least, you'll see we're a bit empty here, so mill on and get our corn mill for the next feed. There's that little batch fed. There we go. There is all of our beef stock fed. I'm finished feeding until tonight. So I do this job every morning before going around to the cow yard. Dad is usually milking and Mark is usually scraping the cubicles and bedding them down. Usually I'll be right there helping Mark by now, but because we're filming this morning, it's taking a little bit longer. Just a bit more of an insight. So you'll see all our cattle are bedded up on straw. We have still got a few bales left over from last year's harvest. These younger weanings down here are having hay, so they will get they'll usually finish that by night, so they'll get a fresh bale tonight. These are only getting corn once a day, and supplemented feed on top of that is hay for the younger ones just down here, and they're looking quite well for it. And then these older ones up here are having haylage. That's ad lib, obviously. And this is the stuff that we made back in September last year. And here is a bale of that feed. So you'll see, it's very nicely made. It's hard, you can't really show it on camera what haylage is like, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. It definitely smells nice. This is ideal for feeding these, because it's not to the extreme of hay. You've still got the goodness of silage, but you've not got that wetness of silage as well. Like, silage feeding is all right. I hate feeding clamp silage around here to any of these because it's just so messy. The cattle get in such a mess. Clamp silage isn't very handy to move about. Like this here is non-chopped, so it's easy to grab lumps out the bale and feed it across accordingly. We don't usually bother because it's always there, so they pick and eat at it throughout the day. Obviously when the bale starts to get less, you have to feed it out a little bit, and you will find that actually if you do move it out, they do eat a little bit more. So we're feeding the haylage again. Usually we would feed more wheat and barley and blend than we are at the moment, but we've got the haylage here, it's made. We've not got the wheat and barley, so we'll make the rest of the diet up with the haylage. Like I say, we had 120 bales of haylage in the back end of last year, and these are the only stock around here that are going to be eating that, so they might as well have it and not go extremely excessive with the wheat and barley. Hopefully make that last until harvest this year next year. God, yeah, that'll be a stretch. And keep going, but more calves to come. I mean, we've got these 7 heifers down here to calve. We've got the cows that are all going to start calving before long with Rodney's little babies. He's throwing some really nice calves, if I'm honest. The heifers have thrown some nice calves. Overall, the last batch of heifers calved down very well. I think we only had to calve one, the rest naturally calved on their own, and that's brilliant. That's what you want with your dairy stock. With heifers, Dad's always taught me to give them a bit of time. Don't be too keen on getting the calves away. Leave them a little bit and they'll calve down. We had a heifer that had the calves' feet there, and they were there for 2 hours. We went to calve her and she just hadn't opened up. So we left her for 12 hours, and on the 13th hour, next morning after milking, calved her down. Calf was fine and heifer was fine. If we'd have tried pulling that calf away from her the night before, there would have been all sorts of complications. So it just shows you've got to have a little bit of patience, and you've got to know when to be patient and how to do it. Like Dad had said to me, he'd never witnessed a heifer or cow to be on for so long but not open up. Very, very strange. Anyway, moving forward, again, Happy New Year to everyone. It's gonna be a great one, because Everything's brilliant at the minute, isn't it? We'll try and get the videos out, try and keep you all entertained. There's the cattle fed. I better shoot off around the other side to see what's going on around there and help out around there, because at the minute I'm just babbling on here for you lot at home. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching. That is it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, what I was saying there is don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one. Didn't realise my camera had died this morning, so see you all in the next one.